Hey, welcome back to the 57 Aljo. As a short video of something we're working on right now that I think is pretty neat. So we have these original sconces that typically sat upright like this, and they had, I don't know if you can see them, these kind of traditional fabric lampshades on them. You can see the size comparison. Those are cool, I like them, but we wanted to update it a little bit and put our own spin on it. So I completely cleaned these up and already connected, here we go, and rewiring them. And you can just get this from, all this stuff came from the big box store, nothing special. So replacing the original light fixture with these new ones, it's just going to be a simple click on, click off. These are the old ones. You can probably see by the condition why I'm upgrading. They may be fine, but why take the chance, right? This wire is wrapped in fabric, and that makes me nervous, but heck, they lasted for 60 years, so who knows? One of the lights had a plug in it, in the base. But base must be inside. I've just started cleaning them up. I'm gonna replace this, but again, I'm gonna upgrade that. So anyway, what we decided we wanted to do was we had looked for wall sconces that had what they call the atomic comic shape, which is essentially a cone. Sometimes it has perforations in it, sometimes it doesn't. Couldn't find them. And what we did find was either too large or just too darn expensive. So we went to our big box store. We bought sheets of aluminum. This was a 6-inch by 24-inch rectangular sheet. It's very thin, has to be, because we're going to be bending it, as you can see. But again, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places sell this. Then we took a paper template and through a lot of trial and error, measured, cut, shaped, etc., to get it to the perfect cone size for our light fixture. So then once you get that, you just lay your template out over your aluminum sheets. I drew mine out and then I came back and cut them. Here's where some of the tricks come in. So you can use a simple straight edge, cutter. That would work fine. It was tricky, I found, in some of these curves. I had these from a previous project. These shears, I'm sure, came from Harbor Freight because I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on something I was going to use like once a year. These come in a left hand and a right hand cut, which means these are easier to make curves with if they're offset like this. So just an FYI. If you have a pair of these or can pick a cheap one up, I would, and they're clearly marked left or right. I honestly don't remember which these were because you can just flip the metal and turn left into right and right into left. So here are two stamped pieces, or not stamped, here are two blanks to make our shade. Now what we're going to do first, so I cut those out with the metal cutters, took my file and went along every edge, top, bottom, and side, and also just sort of took the corners off. I didn't think you need to see me sanding, but the reason we did that is this stuff is razor sharp. And when you start cutting on it, it becomes almost serrated in areas. So be very careful handling it. Take a lot of time to sand and or file these edges down. Make sure they're smooth to the touch, because after all, they're going to be in your camper and you're going to be touching them and coming up against them. So you don't want it to cut you. So I did that on the outer curve, the edges, and this inner curve. This is where it got tricky. This curve is trickier to cut. So rather than long, smooth curve cuts, you end up kind of with some short, quick cuts, which create jags. Anyway, what we could do at this point is simply bend this around something cylindrical to create the initial curve and then join the two ends. I'm going to rivet them and then we'd be done. And we'd place them in our, what I'm going to do here is either epoxy them into this space, or more than likely those will be screwed in too, just in case they have to ever be removed. But this is the cool part. What we're going to do is take a hole punch or a simple nail and a hammer and we're going to poke holes in a pattern all along the edge. Initially, we were going to do like a center design, a fleur-de-lis or something. We've set it on 2 lines equally spaced along the bottom. Again, perforations, so that when the light, when they're curved and set in place and the light comes on, you'll see those illuminated from behind. We think that'll be pretty cool. Other than shining them up and buffing them, that's all we're going to do. We're not going crazy with these because we want it to look period correct and be functional. So I'm going to show you the finished product once they're mounted and wired for light, because I want you to see them on. Thanks.